This is the Pain Train Preston Quinn, one half of the Extreme Horsemen. And when I want to hear music and entertainment, I come right here. You're listening to On the Fly with Stevie and Warden.
You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? On the Fly is back again tonight. We hadn't done one in a while, and I figured this was a good of occasion as anything to get back into it again. This last weekend, last Saturday night, which was the 14th of September, made the trip with my daughter to Weldon Mills Theatre in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, and got to see one of my favorite country music artists of all time. I'm talking about Miss Sara Evans. And let me tell you guys, it is so nice. And I will take my hat off to Weldon Mills Theatre. I've been there several times to see several. I think I saw Diamond Rio, seen Travis Tritt. I saw Striper. Every time, there is not a bad seat in that place. And these are reasonably priced. And I'm just glad I don't have to go 2 hours from home to see a good show, a good concert with a well-known artist. So we went to see Sara Evans Saturday night, and I was sitting in my seat, and I was thinking to myself, man, this would be a good chance to get the podcast back going again, a good opportunity to talk about the concert. And I was like, but I don't want to do it by myself. So I'm sitting there thinking, and my daughter's sitting there. The opening act, which we'll talk about her too, was really great. But I'm sitting there thinking, and about this time, I look up and I see, chances are you're gonna see people you know there. I saw a few people I knew, and my daughter said, "Oh, look, there goes Martin," and I'm like, and she looks at me, she said, "It's just like somebody was telling me right then." She said, he's like a mega Sara Evans fan. And I was like, bingo. I said, as soon as I, the next day, I messaged Martin, and Martin decided to come on the show. We're going to talk about the entire concert, our favorite songs from it, from what we think our top three from the set list was. But like I said, with me tonight, music artist, Mr. Martin Terry. What's up, buddy?
How you doing? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, dude. We've had you on before. We had a good time that time before, and perfect opportunity here to get you back on. Before we get to Sara Evans, let's talk a little bit about you. What's going on? Because it's been a while since we've had you on the show.
Yeah.
What's going on with the Martin Terry Band right now?
So I put out a song in January called "Fighting Fire with Fire." So anybody watching,
very good song.
Thank you. Anybody watching, please go get that. Stream it for me, please. And ever since I've been recording with my guitarist Sam, we have another song that's finished that I'm just trying to figure out what I want to release next. So I keep pushing it back, and just trying to figure out what song I want to put out. And in the meantime, since January, we've just been doing shows, most every weekend. We take some breaks here and there. I'm not quite as busy as some other bands are because all of my guys just can't do every weekend. But we're pretty busy. We just got back from Myrtle Beach for the first time we played there, which was fun. We're going to Wilmington this weekend and Cortland, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're playing at Belmont Peanuts, so come if you can. But it starts at 5:30, which is kind of weird to me.
Yeah, kind of early there, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it. I really am. So we've just been doing shows and trying to work on some new music.
I hear you. And we'll, guys, if things work out, we'll be having Martin on here more often to talk about different things, because he is, I mean, if you've never been to see Martin in concert, Martin does a little bit of everything. Martin, I guess at first you were classified like doing country music when you put your first single out, but let me tell you, if you've never heard Martin's rendition of "Beat It," you need to come to a show. And let me tell you, when I knew, I've known Martin for a long time. I've known his family pretty much all my life. And the first show I went to see Martin play, and I think we talked about this on the last episode. I heard Martin taking up. They started playing "Lights" by Journey, and I was like, first thing I said was, "Whoa, he's taking on Steve Perry. If he can hit these notes like Steve Perry, then yeah, he'll make a believer out of me." And let me tell you guys, he hit those notes like Steve Perry. It was incredible. I've been a fan ever since. But yeah, go see him live. He does more than country. I mean, he throws some Fleetwood Mac in there. I know. There's a little bit of everything in there. He's got a mixture of everything in there. And we've got a comment coming in for you. Hey, Martin from Mallory, your favorite, by the way. Yeah.
Hey, Mal, how you doing?
So I tried to get her to come on, but she was like, I don't. Y'all just go ahead and do it.
Well, it's
So-
funny to say that about those first two songs because I took them both out of the show because they're too hard. I mean,
You took them out. Oh wow.
Beat It's been
Never
going for a
mind.
while. Yeah, we're doing Billie Jean instead of Beat It, so I still kept a Michael Jackson song in there. And then we're doing Don't Stop Believing instead of Lights.
Okay, so
They
you
are
still got a mixture. So do you still do your Fleetwood Mac stuff?
Yeah, we're still doing that.
Okay. All
We
right.
have a new show now. We have we just added about 10 songs because somebody made the comment that we keep playing the same songs over and over. And I've never really thought about it before, but I mean, we had gone a few years there and kept playing the same songs. And I couldn't stand that. So we added a bunch of new songs.
My hat's off to you, bud, because being a lifelong Kiss fan, they
Mhm.
played the freaking same set list for the last 20 years of their career. And people were constantly saying something then, but they were like, whatever, we don't care. We're gonna play the same thing. But yeah, hats off to you for changing it up. I appreciate that. So Saturday night, Martin, I mean, talk a little bit like what I said about Weldon Mills Theatre. I don't know what your experience was, but I'm pretty sure that it was a good experience there. I mean, great atmosphere. The acoustics were great in there. The sound is great in there.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not a bad seat in the place.
It reminds me, I don't know if you've ever been to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville before.
I have not.
So much like that. It's about the same size, maybe a little bit smaller because the Grand Ole Opry's got like a loft seating area.
Okay.
Not a bad seat in the house, and it's an auditorium type of situation. It's just a great acoustics in there. But I played there. I didn't play there, but I was in a competition there. It was called the Texaco Country Showdown when I was like 17 years old. And one of the first things I ever did live in front of an audience, it was horrible.
Wow.
And that was when nobody, I think the city of Roanoke Rapids owned the theater. Nothing was going on there. And then they started doing a few shows there, and I went to another concert, maybe Travis Tritt or somebody, I can't remember who it was, years and years ago. Yeah. And the growth of just the theater itself since then to now, they've done a lot of work to it. It looks great, and everything's laid out really good. They have the nice bars in there now. Yeah. I'm very, very impressed with it. And the lineup of artists they've been bringing is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Travis Tritt, that one man, I think they actually had a Travis Tritt with a full band recently, but they also had, right before COVID hit, was when we saw Travis Tritt did his one-man show.
I think that's...
And I mean, they've got, I mean, the lineup is coming. I mean, Gary Allen was just there, I believe. What was it? It was Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan are coming. Rick Springfield's coming.
Yeah, Chris, and they had so many great people. They're having Aaron Lewis, which is
Aaron Lewis is a big one.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go see the what is it, the Hotel California, the tribute to the Eagles. They say they're really good. I'm a big Eagles fan. I would love to see that. And I guess the promotion company, that Barn Burner Promotions, I guess they're the ones bringing these acts in. They do a great job there too.
Yeah.
And like you said, the theater changed hands so many times.
Mhm.
And now the guy from Weldon Mills has got it, and I think he's going to do it. I think this might be what the answer right here. I think he's gonna make sure that this place does a good job and has some good acts come through there. And
Yeah, I
so
mean,
far so good. Knock on wood.
if it doesn't work for him, it's not going to work for anybody. It's just a done deal for that place because they really do a great job with their businesses. And like I said, it looks great, and everything was perfect with that the other night. The bartenders were on point,
Yeah.
everything, and the price point, like you said, was what was great.
Exactly. I mean,
But-
you're not going to find. I mean, I think we paid for our seats, which was a little bit back. I think we were in row N,
Mhm.
but I mean, you were right there. You could see. I mean, we were close enough
Mhm.
to her. That was like a $55 ticket. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not going to get that when you go off to these big
No.
places anymore. I
No.
mean, I said my days of going to the big arenas are probably over until they bring prices down. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Well,
But,
we went to see George Strait and Little Big Town and Chris Stapleton over the summer at
Charlotte.
in Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium, and we paid. Well, I didn't buy them. My grandma bought the tickets for all of us because in one way I was affording it. They were like $600 a piece.
See there, that's ridiculous. I mean,
And these were bad seats. I mean, they weren't. I mean, they were in the middle seats. Like, so people were paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for seats right up front. And
see that. Nothing against George Strait or Little Big Town or Chris Stapleton. That's ridiculous
Mm-hmm.
to go to a show to pay that much money.
Yeah.
Kiss was the same thing on their end of the road tour.
Mm-hmm.
There were people paying thousands and thousands of dollars to sit, close to the stage. And I'm like, I love Kiss, but no freaking way. I'll sit at home and listen to it over and over again. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I know artists have got to make money, and the only way they can really make their money now is by touring. But I don't think it's just the art. I think it's all these fees that come up, these like entertainment fee. I thought that's what you paid the ticket for.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's so many fees added onto it now. It's ridiculous.
And the alcohol and the food, which Weldon Mills was not like that. I mean,
No.
Me and Haley both got like cocktails, and we spent $25 for both. Whereas at the Bank of America Stadium, we got like a Mick Ultra, and I spent like $50 for maybe 4 or 5 of them. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, for a Mick Ultra. So that's another major thing about Weldon Mills, and I mean, you got to make some money, somehow or whatever. I don't know how that kind of industry works, but I thought the prices were really good. And
I did too.
I
mean, they've never been the shows I've been to. They've been reasonable priced. I mean, it wasn't like I was like, God, I've never looked at one and said, gosh, knows I couldn't pay that much money to go to Weldon Mills.
Yeah.
They're all reasonably priced.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Excuse me.
you're all right. We get there, and the opening act, I don't know if you got to see her or not.
I did.
Rhonda Funk. Interesting story with her. She's in her 50s.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit later in life, having some success. I think she said she's living in Nashville now, and had a brain aneurysm, had brain surgery a few years back, and now is doing this. I was impressed with her. I liked her. I got to meet her after the show. Me and Mallory got to meet her, and she was just as nice as she could be. I bought one of her CDs. I always try to support, if somebody's, especially independent artists like that, if they've got something like that, I try to support them as much as I can. So hopefully, knock on wood, we talked, and she's agreed to come on the show sometime, so we'll have her on. But
Awesome.
She did a really good job. I was so impressed with her, and she did about I guess it was about a 45 to 50-minute set.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, because at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not. But yeah, she could flat out sing too.
Yeah.
I mean, she had pipes for sure. But she does about a 45-minute show. And then here comes, they changed things around. I think it was about maybe a 20 or 30-minute gap between that and Sara Evans. And first of all, talk about Sara Evans' band. I mean, they were top notch.
Yeah.
I don't know who the older guy that was a lead guitarist. I didn't catch his name, but man, that guy could flat out play.
Yeah, the one on the right hand side.
On the right hand side, he was the one that was doing most of the solos.
Yeah, he's a band leader too.
I didn't catch his name, and I've heard that I don't think he does anymore. But listening to her podcast, which we'll get to, I know her brother used to play in the band with, but I don't know I don't think that was him.
No.
So the bass player was good. He did the harmony vocals with that girl. That girl, the background vocal. Oh my gosh, when she hit that one high note, holy crap! But the band was top notch. And then Sara Evans comes on, and we'll get right into the set list.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but there's some people out there that don't like to look to see what's maybe at setlist.com to see what's going to get played. I like to look and see if there's going to be. So I kind of cheated to look, but she leads off with her version of Gavin DeGraw's song "Not Over You," and she's been singing that one for a while. Good lead off song. She got the crowd into it early. I like that song. It's not going to be one of my favorites on the set list because there were so many good songs on the set list, but still a good song. What did you think about "Not Over You"?
I've always loved her version of that song. I have seen her in concert probably 14 times. Seriously.
Wow.
So I have. I know I'm crazy, but I have never seen her open with that song before.
Right.
And we saw her. I don't know if it was last year or the year before in Emporia, and she played that song, but it wasn't the opening song. And I really, really liked it as an opening song. I thought that whole kind of the airy intro they had with just the keys and stuff was really cool. So it's not one of my favorites either because there's so many great ones, but I do like it as an intro song.
When was the first concert you went to see her in? What year was that?
I don't even know. She was on tour with Brooks and Dunn, and I saw her at she opened for Brooks and Dunn in Virginia Beach. Was the first time I've seen her.
Was that
probably
that wasn't Born to Fly tour, was it?
No, not that. It wasn't that early. It was probably maybe like 2008 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't driving. I know that, but I wasn't super young either. That was the first time, and then I've seen her a bunch of times since, and not because I'm just like following every single show she plays, but we used to go to Nashville every year for CMA Fest. So the majority of them I've seen her there. There was one year we've seen her at the Nissan Stadium. And then we've seen her at, we did a fan club party of hers that was during CMA Fest. It was really cool. We got to meet her, and it was like 500 people there. So that was cool. So I've seen her little places like that, big places, and places like Virginia Beach or Walnut Creek. And
they had, and I did see when we got there, we went up to the merchandise table, and they had the guitar there with her picture on it that you could buy. I didn't even check to see how much that was. There wasn't no telling. But then they were offering meet and greets for $100, which I thought for her that was pretty good. I mean that's reasonable right there.
Yeah.
And I was kind of tempted, but I said, nah, I ain't gonna do that. But it tempted me. I would love to have met her because she's just with her podcast, and let's talk about her podcast, Diving Deep with Sara Evans. She talked about that on stage, and I've started listening to it the next day at work. I put it on my headphones, and I've got through probably about 10 episodes so far. And let me tell you guys something. Sara Evans doesn't play. She will not sugarcoat anything. There was one episode I was listening to today, and I think she was talking to the man that was on RCA Record, the head of RCA Records that signed her, and she was talking about. They got to talking about. I don't know if some of you people remember Minnie McCready. Uh,
Yeah.
tragically killed herself. She was kind of out there. I mean, but she was talking about how she did. She was kind of joking about. I didn't like her because she had the it thing. She just and the guy from RCA was like, yeah, we had some face to face conversations about. I think I want this for you more than you want this for you. And then they beeped out the names, but Sara gets up there and goes on Tyra and said, I hated beep. It's like 3 or 4 of them. They beeped them out. But you can probably guess who it was who come along about that time. The only one she was talking about real positive about was, Martina
Yeah.
McBride. She loves her. But she does not play around. And the stuff this lady has been through in her life, oh wow. I mean, from getting hit by a car when she was 8 years old, her car was going 75 miles an hour, falling in a well when she was 12, and then almost dying in a plane crash. Her plane went upside down. I mean,
that was wild. That was wild.
And then, everybody knows about her first marriage, which was that guy sounds like a real winner to me. But so listen to her podcast, guys, if you're interested in something like that. It's more than just talking about country music. She's had, I think I listened to her talk to Ernest, and he did a great job on that. That was good. Martina McBride was up there, but she talks about her life experiences too. So give that a try if you're into that. So let's go to number 2. And this was a song I wasn't really that familiar with. Slow Me Down.
Mm-hmm.
It's off the album Slow Me Down. That was in 2013. But this one was okay. Like I said, not going to be on my top 3 in the end. It's okay. I mean, there wasn't, to me, she didn't do a bad song all night. This from top to bottom was a great set list. It was no, like she was worried when they did the 3 songs from the 3 newest songs. She was like, don't go to the bathroom. She was talking about, I get nervous when I play my new stuff, but don't go to the bathroom. And I mean, this one, I mean, it's okay. It's not bad, but it's, like I said, not going to be on my top 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So then she goes to one that I did like, was Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That came out in 2003 from the Restless album. Still not going to make my top 3. I don't want to give it away, but still not going to make my top 3. She just and she didn't really. She played 3 songs without stopping. I mean, it went one song right to the other. I thought she would stop maybe after the second and talk, but she went right to 3 songs before she stopped, and actually did the whole welcome thing and talked about they played at the Opry on Thursday night. They got canceled Friday night because of weather, and she hadn't brushed her hair since she was at the Opry. She was joking around like that. I mean, she's got a good presence on stage too.
Very.
Yeah. And I'm telling you guys, she's 53 years old. I did not realize that she was 53 years old, but I'm telling you what, she has aged very well. She is not bad to look at. I mean, Sarah, I think, like I said, No Place That Far is when I got into her. She did that with Vince Gill. But when she really hit it for me was Born to Fly. The whole video with the Wizard of Oz theme. And, of course, Mallory saw it as the Wizard of Oz thing. And Mallory was just a little kid. I mean, she was little then, and she fell in love with her there, too. But, Nick, go ahead.
I know you were disappointed because she didn't do No Place That Far.
Oh yeah, that and I looked at the set list and I was like, "Dadgum, she didn't do it." But that would have been nice to see her do with one of the guys, or maybe one of the guys doing background vocals. But she had a keyboard player and the bass player that were doing harmonies.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she's done that in a while though live. Yeah, Did you do that when y'all saw her in Emporia?
I don't think I've ever heard her do that song.
Yeah, and that was
Maybe-
like
maybe It just
Go
might
ahead.
be one. Like I said, I might have seen her do it at some point, but I don't remember her doing it a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen it, but it was okay. I wasn't too disappointed.
Yeah.
Then she goes in the backseat of a Greyhound bus. That was from Restless 2003. It's okay. It's okay. It's not one of my favorites.
That's
We'll have to
definitely-
have you back on here to do a top 10. We'll have to do a
Uh-huh.
top 10 Sara Evans.
That is going to be one of my top 3 favorites. That one.
Oh, wow.
I just like. I mean, not even the story of it because I can't relate to that story being pregnant in the back seat of Greyhound, but it's just musically, the track especially, and I mean the band does a great job with it, but it's just musically a killer song. And the girl that she wrote it with, you'll see her on the podcast if you haven't already. She's written so many huge hits. This girl, I forget her name. Amy Mayo is her name.
Yeah,
And
that's right. Amy Mayo.
she wrote like Amazed by Lone Star, and she's written, I mean, every song she's written, you can tell that it's one she's written, and that's one of them. So that's one of my top 3 for sure.
Okay. I got you. All right. Then she goes into As If from the Greatest Hits album in 2007. And I'll tell you this. This is a contender for the top 3 for me. I was like, I've heard it before, but when she played it live that night, I was like, okay, this is good right here. I like this. And yeah, that's a contender. I'm not going to say it's in my top 3, but it's a contender.
Well, they used to open with that song, and God, I sound like a freakish fan, but they used to open with that, and that was a great opening song. They had a killer intro on it. It was like 3 minutes long. Then she came out on stage. I missed that as an opening song for the show. It's great, and it's a great song. Not one of my favorites, but you should watch. I don't even know how to tell you to find it, but that is the opening song of the concert. Was really good.
And you know, when you sit here and think about it, and I thought about it because I was right, you know, I had on my notes on my phone every time they would do a song, I'd add it to the playlist, and I was like, God knows this woman has got a lot of good songs. I mean, she talks about how she got dropped by RCA, but the woman I guess she took some time off for a little while, but she's put out a lot of. I mean, this doesn't even this doesn't even have some of my favorite songs on there.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, No Place That Far. What was the other one? She did a Rod Stewart cover. When the One You Love's in Love with Someone Else.
Yeah.
She does that, and I love that song. The way she does that. So then we go into I Keep Looking. That's a contender up there for me too.
Mm-hmm.
That was from the Born to Fly album in 2002. So actually, I'm thinking about this now. I must have played that video for Mallory because Mallory wasn't even born when Born to Fly came out. No pun intended. So we must have really started watching. I guess I played it for her because of the Wizard of Oz thing and trying to get Mallory into music.
Yeah.
And we got another comment up here, Jarrett Jones. I think you may know him.
Oh Lord,
What's up, Jarrett?
I keep swiping the screen because people are texting me. Some I'm watching and some I'm not, but he's one of them. He said he can relate to being pregnant on the back seat of a Greyhound bus.
Well, Jarrett, I'll send you a link right now to come on, and you'll have to share that experience with us because I definitely want to hear how you were pregnant.
Please do it.
Jared, if I sent you a link to get you on, I guarantee you would not come on here and talk about being pregnant on the backseat of a Greyhound bus. We'll see. And my dogs thinks the same too. I Keep Looking is a good song. I like the intro, how she starts, her talking, and then the baby's laughing, and then the dun dun dun. I just like the way. Oh, now Jarrett's saying he did not say that.
I mean, can you put screenshots up here? Because he totally did.
We got proof, Jarrett. I can bring it up here. So you might as well confess now. But yeah, Born to Fly was, I mean, that's probably one of my favorite albums of her.
Yeah.
That really launched her. I mean, No Place That Far got her noticed, but Born to Fly launched her into that next level. She started really getting noticed then. So then she goes to one song she did from her covers album called Copy That, which I love. Mallory did not even realize that she had done a covers album until she started talking about that. She does a Carole King song, Too Late. That's going to be a contender for my top 3.
Oh, really?
Yes. I mean, she flat out killed that song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I was like,
I'm just not like a Carole King fan like that.
well, I'm not a Carole King fan either, but that's
Yeah.
when the way look, some of these people can take a song that I really don't like,
Yeah.
and make it their own. And just like I wasn't the biggest fan of the Rod Stewart version of but when she did it, I was like, holy crap. I mean, nothing against Rod Stewart.
Somebody, I don't know if it was hers. I read somewhere that it's called what's the Rod Stewart song called? My Heart Can't Tell You No. It was meant to be. It was written for like Reba McEntire, I think. So they wanted, and then Rod Stewart took it. So it was really meant for a female country artist. So it was perfect when she put it out.
Yeah. So I did not know that. I'm glad you told me that. All right. So yeah, I like that version of hers. And then she gets to she starts talking about, I'm nervous about playing these next 3 songs because they're off the new album, which I don't think I've listened to yet, and I need to listen to. So she was like, don't go pee or don't go to the bathroom or anything like that. And but she starts off with Downfall, which these next 3 songs are not going to be contenders for me because they've just got to grow on me.
Yeah.
I've got to really go back and listen to them. Downfall, 21 Days was good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole concept of that song, that if you can quit something for 21 days, then you're over it. Like if you can not be in contact with somebody that you in a relationship for 21 days, then you're over it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Sorry Now was another song that I've really got to listen to, but they were good. No, don't get me wrong, guys. They were good songs, but I've got to listen to them more for them to grow them. They just can't contend with the mainstays up here that she's got up here. What'd you feel about those 3 new songs?
Well, I love the new album a lot. I mean, they're not my contenders either, but out of those 3, I really like 21 Days is a single, so that's the one that's doing the bit. But Sorry Now is a great song. You need to check out the recorded version of that. It's really good.
Yeah. Because me and Mallory were talking about it. I said, I do that. I do the album challenge list where I listen to complete albums, and I don't remember that one being on my list yet. And that's up to like, oh gosh, I'm up to like 1,600 and some albums I've listened to in the last 3 years, and ranked each song from like 1 to 5. So I have to get her on that list soon.
Well, it's brand new, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's probably not. If it just got released, it's not on my list yet.
Yeah.
Then she does another cover song from Copy That, and it's one I remember when I saw it on the album. It was going to be on the album. I was like, this isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
The Knack. She does the Knacks, My Sharona. Now, she got the crowd into it with that. I mean, she got everybody to stand up, and everybody got into it. That is a one-hit wonder from the Knack, because honest to God, I'll tell you this. As a kid, back in like 1980, my mom and dad were and you're too young to probably remember what this is. I don't know. You may know what BMG was, but the Columbia House Music, the tape and record company, where they would get the one where you could get like 8 albums for a penny, but then you had to buy like 5 or 6 more in the next 2 years, and they jumped the prices up. But you got those 8, and look, people took advantage of it somewhat. They gave fake names to the same address. I know some guys on other podcasts that honestly, when they were in college, they built their CD collection off of giving fake names to Columbia House and getting it delivered there. They'd get like 8 at a time and just keep sending them. And, they couldn't. And one of the guys is a lawyer now. So if they come looking for him, I'm sure he'll defend himself anyway. But yeah,
choose which one you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, they would have a list up there. And the way they did it back in the day was they had them and they looked like stamps. And what you would do, you would take like the 8 that you wanted and the stamp and put it on in the I remember when I was like 9 or 10 years old, probably about 8, when I really started getting into music. I said you had to send like, with shipping and handling, it was like $2 and something. I took an envelope, put that in there, and I put enough change for $2 and some in there. So the mail lady was like, "You can't do this. You cannot do this. I'm not sending this much change. You're gonna have to put like 4 or 5 stamps in here, and I'm not sending that much change in there." So my plan went to crap then. But actually, and they would send you like, it was like an album of the month they would have every month. And if you didn't send your little flyer back in saying, "Hey, I don't want that one, don't send me that one," they would send it to you. And evidently my mom and daddy didn't send it in one year. We had a copy on vinyl of the Knack, and it was called Get the Knack. And I remember as a kid, I played the heck out of that thing, because back then you didn't have, iTunes, where you could just, whatever you want to listen to is right there, or YouTube or whatever. You listen to what you had, or you listen to the radio, and you didn't control what was on there. So I listened to a lot of stuff as a kid. I remember Daddy had, I don't know if you're familiar with the song Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. Daddy had the 45. He played the heck out of it. And I just have good memories of that song. But yeah, the Knack, My Sharona, she got the crowd into it, but that is not going to be on my contenders. I don't know about you.
No. And we tried to I love a version of it. We tried that in our show and immediately just said never mind, because it is all over the place, that song. I mean, it's fun all over the place. But they did a great job with it. I wouldn't put any of her cover songs in my contender list, but that doesn't mean they're not good, because they are. So
I can't.
What about album though?
Yeah, I can't say I'm not going to put another cover song in my contender list, because there's one coming up that
there is one. So I might be. You might be right.
I Could Not Ask for More was next. Of course, that was who was the guy? Edwin McCain that originally did that. She talked about it. She heard it, and I think she had just had her first kid, and she was like, "I'm stealing that song," and she does it. I love the Edwin McCain version, but her version is the way she hits some of those notes near the end of the song. Oh my gosh, that's the big difference between her and Edwin McCain's version. That does it for me.
The arrangement is so much better than his is great, but the arrangement of hers is so much better. And then that music video was stellar.
Yes.
So all that in one recipe makes, that's one of my favorite songs by her. Not a contender, but one of my favorites.
That's a contender for me.
Is it?
And the next one is too. Real Fine Place to Start. That's off the Real Fine Place album back in 2005. Gosh, she put out a lot of albums in a short time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was doing, because back, I remember as a kid, as a Kiss fan, Kiss would put 2 albums out in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered why they did it so many times, but hearing some of the podcasts I listened to, they were getting advances, and that was the way they kept the tour on the road, the
Yeah.
expenses up from the advances they were getting. And then they also said that they wanted to put another album out before the last album got out of the record stores. So they put this new album in there, and people would like it. They would say, "Oh, okay, well, I need to go look at their." I guess it was different at that time. I need to go get their other album. Is that here too? So they
Yeah.
were with that. They were real business savvy as far as that. But real fine place to start. I mean, I don't know if you hear my dog back here. I don't know what she is doing. She
Mine's
must.
from too.
Yeah, she's like. "Ah."
So
Uh,
are we waiting till the end to tell what our top
yeah,
three?
yeah. We're gonna wait till the end.
All right, cool.
So, real fine place to start is one of my contenders right there. I don't know
Same.
about you.
Same.
Same. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this one is definitely a contender for me. This next one, stronger.
Mhm.
The message it sends, and the fact that this was kind of her real life.
Yeah.
It was her real life when she was going through with her first marriage, and she actually went through it separation with her second marriage. I did
Mm.
not know that until they she had talked about it on a podcast. But yeah, stronger is and she the way she talked about it, you could tell this was something she really puts her heart in. She didn't write it, but she loved the message and she had to have the song.
Yeah. And the record label, I would imagine so she had taken a hiatus when she got her divorce the first time, and the record label was extremely smart on bringing her back with that song because
Oh yeah,
really high publicity divorce, and took a break, so they came back with that. It was perfect because that song was huge, and
yeah. And, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, just a huge song.
And guys, if you listen to the story about that high publicized divorce, I know Martin's heard her talk about it. The nightmare situation she had in that restaurant while she was on Dancing with the Stars, and had to pull out of Dancing with the Stars because of it. There's a good chance she probably would have won Dancing with the Stars that year because she was so popular on there. She was getting the fan vote like every episode that they did the fan vote. She was getting it.
Mm-hmm.
But the video is what really will get you because she goes on doing like a vlog talking about how she's getting through every day. And and anybody that's had a breakup, whether it's when you were a teenager or when you an adult, turned on the radio, stupid song made me think of you. Listen to it a minute, but then I changed it. But I mean, music, that's what I'm talking about, the power of music. Because there's songs that I can hear now and takes me right back to like maybe I'm a lot older than Martin is. I'm getting ready to turn 51 next month, and I can hear a song right now, and it takes me back to a situation when I was a teenager. I mean, just like that. Songs, music is so powerful. Like I can't imagine going a day without listening to music. I don't know, and I know you're the same way, Martin.
Well, and that's why Haley likes to joke with me that I love Sara Evans more than I love her. Thinks I'm like actually obsessed, and I'm really not. It's not like I'm like stalking the woman or anything. But like you just said, I truly can look back and remember a time, like you said, her putting out all those albums. I can connect memories with each of those big hits at that time, and that's why I really love her.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
not really stronger, but
I'm getting comments from the peanut gallery here about me being old. And Mike Morgan, I know you're older than me, so you can't say anything. So I mean, I can't. I hope I never catch you. Let's see. And we've got some people watching tonight. We definitely got some people watching. Seven likes so far. So stronger is definitely a contender. And then another. This was the end of the set before she did her encores. Patsy Cline's "She's Got You."
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I had chill bumps when she at the end of that song. She killed it, and she talks about Patsy Cline a lot. I think that's one of her biggest influences. I know she talks about her on the podcast a lot.
And you can tell.
Yes, you can tell.
And
You
that's the
can tell.
one I forgot about when I said no cover songs contender. I mean that one for sure. I mean it's
She
on the
killed it.
cover album too. I mean it's just I love Patsy Cline anyway, so it's
Yeah.
stellar cover, and the transition that they do into the next song from that one. It's no break in between. I'll let you talk about that, but it was really
Yeah,
cool.
because they bring in the transition. It's pretty much the band's playing. They bring the background singer up, the girl, and I cannot remember her name. I was trying my best to hear her name, and I've looked up band members' names, but I can't find them anywhere.
Her name is Jazz Davis.
Who?
Jazz Davis, like the genre jazz.
Jazz Davis.
Look up her original stuff. She's really good.
I see. That's why I wanted to get her name, because she was saying it was on. She's got stuff on like Apple and Spotify.
Yeah.
I wanted to check her out. They get up there and they're like face to face, and they start talking about doing the line 18 years. How did 18 years? They keep doing it back and forth, and then it goes right into Suds in the Bucket. And that song, I mean, that song grew on me, because when I first heard it, I was like, okay, it's okay. But the more I listen to it, the more that song has become one of my favorites. And that's definitely a contender for. And the way they did, like you said, the transition, that was cool.
Yeah.
And had her up there the whole time with her to sing that. But yeah, I did. I love that Suds in the Bucket, her performance of that.
And that's her biggest hit.
Yeah.
Not my favorite song by her. But in the live show, probably is one of my favorites because of the way they do it. It's different than the real song.
And listening to the podcast today, when she was talking to the guy that was head of RCA, she wanted to know. She was pressing him. She was grilling him because somebody, one of the higher ups, did not want that song on the album. Said that was not a radio song, and that would never go anywhere on radio. And I think she actually sent it, her and I forgot, it was one of her assistants, sent it to radio. And a lot of the radio stations were saying, this is what we want to hear right here. I mean, so that just goes to show you guys, just because they're sitting up there in the suit and tie, they may not know everything about music. They may not know what a hit is. So, there's a lot of songs that out there that I listen to that were B-sides or never got released as a single that I think are better than the actual singles that come from that artist. But
she started out really stone cold country in the late 90s. And then, of course, the early 2000s, which is my favorite era of music, like 2000 to 2000, maybe 8. But it got a little poppy a little bit, maybe like a little whatever. It started going pop a little bit. So they were trying to turn that direction. But Suds in the Bucket was a huge hit because I think people still wanted country music. And that song is country. There.
Yeah, it is definitely country. And I mean, and that may be the reason why these higher ups didn't think it was going to work. They probably thought it was not poppy enough, because you had, and I love that era of country music is one of my favorite eras of country music. That 2000 era, because you had, I was a big Rascal Flatts fan. A lot of artists from that time, but Sara Evans, she had just done Perfect before that, and that was not country. But this song, like you said, was definitely country. Suds in the Bucket. I mean, some of the stuff you're talking about in that, talking about suds in the bucket and the clothes hanging out on the line. That you don't get much countrier than that.
Yeah.
Mike Morgan, another comment. I think a song needs to grab your attention the first 45 seconds to a minute, if not sooner. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something to grab you, or you're not gonna, back in the day, CDs, when you had CDs, if it didn't grab you then, you just hit next song. But it was a little harder when we had cassette tapes or vinyl albums. You couldn't really skip like that, but CDs made it easier. But you're exactly right, Mike. So the last song of the night, which no surprise, um, this was the song that really took off for her, made her, like I said, no place else got her noticed, but this song put her to the next level, and that was
Yeah.
"Born to Fly." Um, not just the song, but when you watch the video, it's got that. Like I said, everybody loves the Wizard of Oz theme that they do from there, and just a great song. And they did a great job live. This is definitely one of my contenders up here. But "Born to Fly"
Yeah.
was a good song to end it on. But what's your thoughts on "Born to Fly"?
Contender. One of my favorite songs by her. I mean, you can't deny it. I remember when I was growing up. That now, excuse me, I've been sick, so I'm not just like trying to cough on you. I remember growing up. That "Born to Fly" is probably not her most streamed song on Spotify at this point or anything. It should be, but I don't think I've ever heard a song played on country radio as much as that song was. I remember literally hearing it all the time, and so it's just a killer song. It really is. She wrote that with gosh, what's his name?
Marcus Hummon and Daryl Scott.
Do what now?
Daryl, there's a guy that said that she wrote this with Marcus Hummon and Daryl
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah, Marcus Hummon, he wrote a bunch of Rascal Flat hits. So that's why you probably really like it too.
Yeah, well, yeah, you remember she had just, and I'll leave out another song in between "No Place That Far" and "Born to Fly" that she did that got her noticed too. That the single with the Warren brothers from gosh knows that Natalie Portman movie. That's "The Beat of a Heart."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did that. And whatever happened to the Warren brothers? I think they're still around, but I think they write more songs now than they do actually perform. They're songwriters, but that was a great song too. But yeah, "Born to Fly," like you said, it might not be her most streamed song, but it should be.
Yeah.
The video I don't even know how many people have watched, how many views she's got on that, but it's got to be a ton of 9.6 million views of that on YouTube.
Definitely
So,
done for sure.
yeah. So now here comes the hard part. We got to do our top three here, and we'll start with what you would say. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it in any order, I guess. But if you got your 3 to 1, you'll leave your favorite to the end.
Okay.
So what would be like number 3 on your list now?
This is from the show, right? Not in general.
Yeah, from the show. Yeah.
3 would be "Backseat of Greyhound Bus," just because I love the musical arrangement of that song, and the band kills it. So that's my 3.
All right. This is tough. This was tough for me. Number 3 for me, and like I said, any of these 3 could have been number 1, but I have to put it in an order. So number 3 for me was "Stronger." It's a lot of emotion in that song, and that's what I look for when somebody's singing with a lot of emotion. And "Stronger" for me, that looked like she was singing with a lot of emotion. But yeah, and I love that song. I just love the video. But "Stronger" for me was number 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so number 2.
Number 2 for me, I would any other time put this as number 1 because it's my favorite song by her. It's like my favorite song in general. It's why I love her. Everything about this song is amazing. But I'm gonna put it number 2 because number 1 was the best of the night. But "Real Fine Place to Start" is gonna be number 2. I just love that song. It's a great song. And she actually covered that song too. It wasn't a hit for the first guy that did it and wrote it, but you should listen to his version. His name is I can't remember his name, but you should try it up.
We're gonna Google this, right? So, see, because this is what I love when I do a podcast with somebody. I love finding out stuff that I didn't know, and
Yeah.
when I can find a version, a different version of it like that. Let's see.
If you tell me the names, is it Radney Foster?
Yep, that was
Yeah,
the co-writer, and it was. Let's see. Let's see. The track was co-written by Radney Foster, who previously recorded it for his 2002 album, Another Way to Go.
And his version's great. Not as great as hers, but that's another great video too. But that song is favorite song she's ever recorded.
You know another song I can't believe she didn't do. But I guess she didn't. She probably didn't want too many slow songs in the set. But "You Always Be My Baby," that was a big hit for her back in the day. But all right, so number 2 for me. Oh gosh, I gotta go with the cover. I gotta go with "She's Got You."
Mm-hmm.
She killed it, and like I said, I had chill bumps when she got through with that. When she hits those. When she did that thing at the end, "She's got you," and I'm not going to attempt to even get close to what she did there. But yeah, she killed it. And I mean, me and Mallory were talking about it. Mallory played it off that album on the way home, and she was like, you know, that's a good version on the that, but it does nothing justice to what it did live. I mean, she killed it live. But that's my number 2.
Well, that's my number 1. I love old country more than anything. That's my
you
favorite.
Can tell,
especially like really old country like that. I mean, what are we talking? 60s probably.
Yeah.
And I love Patsy Cline, so I didn't even think about that song in the show. I mean, I've thought about it since, but when you said it, that's when I knew that was the best vocal performance for her from the night, in my opinion. And just she never needs to take it out of the show. It's great.
No. That was recorded in December 1961 and released in 1962. So yeah. January 10th, 1962. Wow. But yeah, she's just amazing what she did with it. Number 1, I gotta go with, we just talked about it for me, "Born to Fly." I mean, that's gonna be one of my favorites. That when we do our top 10, that's gonna be, I'll go ahead and give y'all a spoiler. That's gonna be probably my top 5. I won't say where at in the top 5, but it's gonna be in my top 5. But yes, I mean, great way to end the show. And what can you say?
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you guys this, and I'm not afraid to say it. I haven't been to as many concerts as Martin has, but out of those concerts I've been to, this was probably the best concert I've been to. I mean, she just put on a great show, and then with the opening act with Rhonda Funk, she did a great job there too. And you guys, if you're close by, even if you're not close by, check out Weldon Mills Theatre. Check out their website, see what's coming up. Like I said, they're doing actually right now a giveaway. If you're on Facebook, if you check out their Facebook, for 2 tickets and 2 meet and greets for the Rick Springfield concert. And I mean, all you got to do is share, and then tag some of your friends on there. So go over there, check it out. And you will not be disappointed, I promise you, in that place. Now, I can't say how the show's going to be. I'll tell you this, Rick Springfield, back when I was growing up as a kid, he was the man for a little while. I mean, everybody knows Jesse's Girl. Don't Talk to Strangers. Gosh, what was it? I'm singing this, Affair of the Heart. That's what they. I bet you your mama knows some of these Rick Springfield songs.
Oh my many times I listened to Jesse's Girl in her car growing up. I mean, anything 80s, I've heard it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
That's definitely one.
And then he did a movie. He was actually so big. Well, he was on General Hospital. He was on a soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did a movie pretty much about being a rock star. I mean, it wasn't that big of a stretch for him. But I think that was called Hard to Hold too. But yeah, just a great show, guys. I mean, Sara Evans, I know we're going to get this out there and hopefully we'll get it on Instagram. She follows. He talks about not stalking her. If he was stalking her so bad, she wouldn't follow him on Instagram. She'd block him on Instagram. So see there, Haley?
So she thinks
he can't be too much of a stalker if she follows him back on Instagram.
He might not be stalking her, but I'm pretty sure he's absolutely in love with her.
Well, I'm sure there's somebody out there that you're the same way about. Now tell me a lie.
No, Morgan Wallen, that's all she ever talks about. So, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be like what was on Friends where they had the list of 5 that they could they had a free pass for if they had a chance. Yeah. So, anyway, guys, before we get out of here, first of all, thank you for coming on, Martin. I appreciate you coming on. I know we kept you on here for about an hour. I've enjoyed it. Hopefully we can have you on more, talk about more music. We've got, there's an age difference there, guys, but we both, Martin, like you said, he likes a lot of old country. He likes a lot of the music, and he performs a lot of the music that was popular back in my day. Did you see the story? I don't know if you saw it tonight. REO Speedwagon no longer.
What?
They are no longer touring due to irreconcilable differences. I did not realize that Kevin Cronin, who is the lead singer for REO Speedwagon, was the only original member left, and some kind of difference in opinion with him and one of the guys in the band, they said they were just calling it quits.
Well, I love REO Speedwagon. I've seen them in concert, so I hate that. Sara Evans did CMA Crossroads with REO Speedwagon.
So listened to it a while ago.
Yeah, so good. But I hate that because I love REO. They're great.
If you were a kid my age back in the 70s, 80s, there was no way you didn't like REO Speedwagon unless you were just into like the Cookie Monster growling vocal, heavy metal, death metal, stuff like that. And then even some of them then, I'll tell you this, and I don't know how I remember. Some people tell me you remember more crap that you probably shouldn't than anything in the world. But a memory I have, and I don't know, it may have been just a flea market, but in Murfreesboro when I was a kid, what's the name of that old restaurant that was in Murfreesboro? It wasn't really a restaurant. It was right there before you get to McDonald's. It may have been gone by the time you got it. You were
the Andy's building.
There was something different there before, but it was older. But anyway, before you get to that, there's like a section of buildings you go down the side of, and I think it may have been a flea market or something like that. But they had records in there. My daddy took me and my brother. I don't know why he took us there that day, but we went. And they had 45 records there, which for you people that are too young to remember, 45 records are not the big records that were 33. 45s were the little ones that you had to have a little adapter for and everything. And I bought REO Speedwagon, Keep On Loving You. And
great song.
Yes, great song. And REO Speedwagon's always been one of my favorites. I mean, there's not many. In that era, there's not many bad songs they put out, if they put out any. I mean, I listened to a lot of REO's albums, complete albums, and they didn't have many bad songs up there. So Matthew Bazemore's joined up. What's up? What's up, Matthew? We got to get the File Score back going again. Hopefully that'll happen soon. It's football season. I'm busy coaching and then working and all that stuff. So I'm trying to find time to do all of it. But before we get out of here, Mark, why don't you talk about some of the places you talked about it earlier? Tell us about where the Mark Terry Band's gonna be soon, so all these people can come out and check you out.
Yeah, please do. This upcoming Friday, we're going to be right down the road in Cortland, Virginia at Belmont Peanuts. I've never been there before, but I've heard a lot of people say really good things about it. It's a really cool place, apparently. And we're there from 5:30 to what time, Haley? Like 5:30 to 8:30, I think. Short show. It's an early show for Friday. Kind of weird, but they've got a reason why they're doing it like that, so I'm sure it makes sense. And then Saturday, going to Wilmington. A little nervous about that. It's a long ways, and we're not staying. We're just going to go there, do the show, and come back overnight. And that's at Dirty Dan's. So if anybody wants to take a road trip with me, there.
Dirty Dan's.
And let's see. After that, we're going to be playing an acoustic show at Ribeyes in Washington, which is an awesome place. If you haven't been there and eaten that food, you should definitely go. It's so good. And they have a cool attached bar that's separate than the restaurant. That's where we'll be. So that's what we got coming up. And we'll be in Raleigh and Tin Roof in October. Buccaneer, we're coming back there sometime. I can't remember when. But yeah, new music coming soon.
Yeah, and there's new music on the horizon. That's what I always like to hear there, guys, when you talk about new music on the horizon. And guys, that's another thing. I've been just as guilty of anybody as not giving some of this new music a chance. But I'll tell you this, my daughter, when she gets control of the aux or whatever you want to call it when we were riding somewhere, that's how I became a Ernest fan. When I heard Flower Shop the first time, I was like, she'll see me and I'll look over there. I'll say, "Hey, who is this? Who's this guy?" And she's got a lot of guys that she's listening to right now that I'm going to give a chance. She's got me hooked on a lot of different people, not just in country, but gosh knows what's the girl's name. And I'm almost ashamed to say that I enjoyed her 2 albums that I listened to so far. Olivia Rodrigo, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed listening to that. I was surprised because she said, "This is a new one coming out." So I put it on the list and I was like, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, so give it a chance. Believe me, I'm just as guilty. Who's some of the newer ones that you listen to, Martin, that you've been impressed with?
There's a guy out named Zach Top. I don't know if you've heard of him. And he's super country, like 90s country, which is, I like people that don't sound like me. So
Right.
he sounds nothing like me. I sound nothing like him. It's total opposite. So I really enjoy him. I love Lainey Wilson. I think she's awesome.
Yeah.
Who else, Haley? I really don't listen to a lot of new stuff, though. But if I was to listen to new stuff, it would be them. Cameron Marlowe is another one who I think is great. Yeah, Cameron. Well, they're not related, but yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Matthew's being funny now. Stevie listens to Cardi B. No, I do not listen to Cardi B. I'm sorry. Sorry, Matthew. But the guy you were talking about first, the top guy, what's his name?
Zach Top.
Okay. Yeah, you have to excuse me. There was a whole conversation going on in the car when we were coming back from Murfreesboro the other day. Mallory loves him, and
Yeah.
he released his tour dates on Monday, and nowhere near North Carolina. The closest he comes to North Carolina is Tennessee. Mallory's like, "Oh, I have to hit my cousin up and say he's only coming to Tennessee and see if she would want to do a road trip." But
well, he was just in Chesapeake like maybe 6 weeks ago at Eagle's Nest. It's too bad she didn't see it. Yeah.
Wow, she is gonna be sick to hear that. I don't know if she's still listening right now.
He would have been able to meet him and everything. I mean, I know some people from here in
We lost Martin. Well, guys, we lost Martin, so maybe he'll get back in here. If not, like you said, Zach Top, Mallory is going to be sick to hear that he was in Chesapeake. I don't know if Mallory's still listening to the show right now, but wow, that's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna hang out for just a second, see if Martin gets back in here. And I hate when this happens. It's not his fault. It's not his fault, guys. But I just hate when I get left. You ever see Wayne's World when Garth gets left by himself with Wayne? I'm like, looks like what do you say? Looks like the scene from Scanners. But let's see. We'll give him another few seconds. But anyway, be sure to check out Martin on his social medias. Give him a follow. Make sure you check him out on Apple and Spotify and all that good stuff. And go out, guys. If he's coming somewhere, if that may be him, if he's coming somewhere that you guys are going to be at or coming close by where you think you want to check him out, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Martin does a great job, and he's got a great voice. To check him out. Guys, we're going to get out of here. For all the people that commented, like Jarrett, hope your pregnancy worked out okay. Mike Morgan, Matthew, all you good people out there watching, all the people that liked. Let's see, all the likes we got tonight. We got a lot of likes tonight. Fran Pope, Haley Ellison, Kathy Tan, Billy Burgess, Jarrett Jones, Elizabeth Polson, Emmy New, Brenda Whitley. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the likes. And guys, check out the podcast on wherever you stream your podcast, if it's Apple, Spotify, wherever. Give us a like. It doesn't take any time to do a review. 5-star review. If you feel inclined to do so. That gets my name out there and it'll help me get more people on the show. Hopefully, me and Martin been talking, and hopefully he'll be on more because Martin has got a lot of musical taste like me, and he even some of the stuff he listens to that I wouldn't listen to, I'll be more inclined to listen to, and we can talk about it, all that good stuff. But hopefully Martin will be back on the show again. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for On the Fly Nights. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on The Fly.